This is Apple Valley News Now, Prime Time, on your side.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Jill Sperling. Continuing coverage tonight on concerns from parents about bullying, including death threats against a 13-year-old boy happening in the West Valley School District and how those complaints are being handled. Those concerns were brought before the school board at a meeting on September 26th. West Valley School Board President Michael Thorner responded saying, quote, "Clearly there's a disconnect here." He promised to follow up on their concerns, and at the meeting on October 10th, the board came back with a one-page document that included the district's procedure for reporting bullying. But tonight, we're focusing on a statement made by the school board president at that first meeting.
I've been on the board for 10 years. We've been talking about bullying and harassment issues in our district for 10 years with a variety of different initiatives that we spend a lot of money on and expend a lot of resources on to diminish this.
We reached out to Thorner to follow up on his statement to ask what those initiatives are and exactly how much the district has spent on them. And he directed us to Superintendent Peter Finch, who was out of the office at the time. Finch has 23 years of experience with the district, 2 decades as assistant superintendent and 3 years as superintendent. And earlier today, Apple Valley News Now's Emily Goodell was able to put those questions to him directly.
The superintendent tells me the district has been working on these anti-bullying efforts for years in 3 main areas. 1, an annual training given by the district's attorney to administrators that they then give to teachers, something they've been doing for over 20 years.
The training is to make sure that our administrators document all responses to both informal complaints of harassment, intimidation, bullying, and formal complaints.
2, for the past 15 or so years, students have had access to a Safe Schools hotline and the P3 Tips app, where they can report safety concerns and have an incentive to do it.
If a student gives information that leads to prosecution for a crime, then the student can have a reward through the Yakima County Crime Stoppers.
And 3, a new effort just this year.
We've dedicated a staff member to work with our elementary schools and our mid-level campus for the positive behavior program.
That includes training and education for all kids and intervention for those who need additional support, like twice daily check-ins with a counselor.
Can you think of any other anti-bullying efforts that you guys have made, in your past 23 years?
At the elementary level, we've implemented curriculum. And then we also have some assemblies that also highlight the importance of a positive behavior, positive environment for our students.
He says that's been in place for years, along with an advisory time called Ram Strong at the mid-level campus, where adults can direct students to the right resources if they're having trouble in school. According to the school board president, those efforts have cost the district a lot of money. So I asked the superintendent, how much?
Yeah, I don't have that number for you right now because you'd have to capture the cost for the training and the curriculum and then, like I said, this additional administrator that we have this year.
But he did say the P3 Tips app comes at no cost to the district and the annual training is done in-house. I also asked the superintendent about the 2 cases of bullying brought up by parents at the meeting back in September.
So the case at the school board meeting has been resolved, and you can check with the parents on that and they would tell you it's been resolved.
I told him I've spoken with one mom who says while the formal complaint has been closed, the district hasn't addressed their concerns about the handling of the initial investigation or subsequent bullying by other students. His reply?
Specific incidences are covered by the Family Education Rights and Privacy Act. So that's called FERPA. So for me to comment on a case with a minor student would be a violation of federal law. And I'm not going to violate the parents' rights and the students' rights.
Superintendent Finch says he'll look into getting details about how much money the district has spent on the anti-bullying efforts he mentioned. We're also looking into this independently. But seeking clarification after that interview, I also reached out to School Board President Thorner, again about his comment.
A variety of different initiatives that we spend a lot of money on.
And he told me again to talk to Dr. Finch. Coming up in our next story, we'll hear directly from parents about their concerns and their response to what the superintendent had to say. Reporting, Emily Goodell, Apple Valley News Now.